Good morning, students. I hope you people are studying regularly and revising all the concepts which we have done so far. So, today we are going to continue with our second chapter, that is nutrition in animals. Last time I told you what is ingestion and digestion. Ingestion is basically a process of taking in food. When you pick up food particle with your hand and put it in your mouth, that is called ingestion. As human beings, we cannot synthesize food like green plants can. So we are dependent on plants and animals for our food requirement. Then we started digestion process. Digestion is basically a process of breaking down the food into simpler particles. The food which we are taking cannot be digested as such in our body. So that is broken down into smaller particles which are easy to digest. This process of digestion begins in our mouth, where teeth help in crushing down the food particles into smaller particles. These smaller food particles combine with saliva, with mucus, and with help of various secretions by salivary glands, they are converted into simpler particles, into simpler sugars. Saliva helps in converting starch into sugar, which can be easily combined with blood to provide energy. Right? That is by process of respiration. Now in this lecture, I'll tell you all the basic components of the digestive system, and from this buccal cavity I had already discussed last time. Also we had discussed the components, various types of teeth in our body, in our mouth, and what is their function. Some of the teeth, they help in biting the food, some help in tearing, whereas molars and premolars help in fine crushing of the food particles. Buccal cavity is a hollow space where the food particles are stored and they are soaked in the saliva. Okay, so I'm showing you a diagram here. This diagram is a bit different from the one given in book, but you have to follow the diagram that is there in your book on page number 12. Okay, so to start with, we have buccal cavity here, which is an empty space, and somewhere here are our salivary glands located. What is the purpose of salivary glands? They help in secretions of various enzymes which help in breaking down the food particle and making it easier to digest. Then the food passes through oesophagus. This oesophagus is also called the food pipe. After passing through oesophagus, it goes into our stomach. Can you see the position of stomach here? Just adjacent to stomach, we have gallbladder and we have liver. The purpose is, in your book, it is like here. This is liver. Okay, and as per this diagram, this is the position of the gallbladder. Okay, here we have this is a position of pancreas. Now all these organs, they secrete various types of juices which are digestive juices. Our salivary glands, liver, and pancreas, they secrete digestive juices. These digestive juices convert complex substances of food into simpler one, because I told you food cannot be digested in the way we consume it. Just after ingestion, it is not consumed as such. It will be broken down into smaller particles, and with help of these juices which are secreted by various glands, digestion becomes easier. Okay, so I'm telling you the various components. After the position of gallbladder, then the next food goes into small intestine, this small intestine, and after that to large intestine. From large intestine, it passes through rectum and finally ends into anus. The food particles which are not digested in the body, they are defecated, means they are thrown out of your body through anus. That is called excretion. Okay, so I am telling all the components once again, that what all we are going to read in digestive system. So the various components are various components of digestive tract. Also called that is a kind of a continuous canal from which the food is passing, is getting digested and is defecated out. So for that, the first component is buccal cavity, that I have already told you. What is buccal cavity? That is a hollow space where the food is stored and soaked in saliva. Then is our esophagus, also called esophagus. Okay, that is a place where that is a kind of food pipe from where the food is passing and then it is going to stomach. From stomach it goes to small intestine, then to large intestine, which finally ends into rectum, and then undigested food thrown out of anus. Okay, so this entire path, it is not very long. This entire path means the entire canal which contains all these components. So these paths form the alimentary canal, or what we call as digestive tract or TRACT. These are rather the correct spelling, TRACT. That is called digestive tract or canal. So various components of digestive tract, I told you it begins from your mouth to your anus. So the first component is buccal cavity, followed by esophagus, then is stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum and anus. Clear? So the food I am telling you, that is broken down into smaller particles, or digestion is made easier by various glands. The glands associated with this digestive tract are the glands which are associated with digestive tract are salivary gland, liver, pancreas. All these glands secrete digestive juices. These digestive juices convert complex substances into simpler ones, means they help in digestion. Okay, so the digestive tract and all these associated glands, all this means all the components of the digestive tract which we have talked about, all these components, right, along with all these glands, they together make what? They make digestive system. What is all this? These are all components of our digestive system. These are all components of digestive system. From this, mouth, buccal cavity and teeth we have already discussed. Okay, next there is an activity given in your book, that is activity 2.3, to see that what is the purpose of saliva in our mouth. In that, what they have done, they have taken two test tubes This is our test tube A, and this is our test tube B. In test tube A, we put some food particles like boiled rice. In test tube B, what will I keep? I have taken that boiled rice and I chew it for 3 to 5 minutes and place it in this tube. Now I add some water in both test tubes A and B. So that will make a kind of solution. In both test tubes, now we put some drops of iodine solution. We find that there is a color change in this test tube. Color changes to blue. Can you tell me why? Blue or violet rather. Last time I told you that iodine solution can be used, rather this is something which you have read in your earlier class, in class 6, that iodine solution can be used to test the presence of starch. In test tube A, we have taken boiled rice which contains starch. So that is why the colors of the solution, iodine solution, changes to violet or blue in color. But in test tube B, we have taken the food sample which we had chewed. So in test tube B, we are having sugar because starch is changed to sugar by chewing. In test tube A, we were having starch. That is why iodine solution changed color to violet. But in test tube B, now the boiled rice is not starch anymore because you had chewed it, so that has changed to sugar. That is why it is not showing any kind of color change for the iodine solution. Okay. Now, what is the requirement of teeth in our mouth? That we have already discussed, that teeth play a very important role, because without teeth we cannot bite anything, we cannot chew anything. It is very important to take good care of our teeth. Dental hygiene is very important. What can we do about that? We can brush our teeth regularly. Why? Because whatever we are eating, that food particle gets stuck in our teeth. And we know that there are various enzymes present in our mouth, there are various bacteria present in our mouth which help in breaking down this food. But suppose you are sleeping just after your meal, so these some kind of bad bacteria also start developing in your mouth, which further break this sticking food particle. Like if you have eaten anything and there are food particles which are sticking, the bacteria will act on it and it will convert that to acid. This acid will result in what? That will result in tooth decay. So that will result in decaying your tooth, and that may even lead in losing the tooth. So what can we do? We cannot stop eating chocolates, right? We love them so much, we love sweets so much. So what we can do is dental hygiene. You should floss your teeth, you should brush your teeth twice a day, specifically before going to bed. Very important to brush, so that if any food particle is sticking in your mouth, that does not stay there throughout night. Okay, because teeth, we know, very important. If we lose teeth, we'll not be able to enjoy the food items, right? Next is tongue. What is the purpose of tongue in human body? Tongue, as we know, is very important because it helps us to taste various food items. Tongue at the same time helps in mixing the food item with saliva. It also helps to push the food down into the food pipe, which is called esophagus. We can see here tongue is very important. It is a muscular organ. It helps to mix saliva in the food. We know that in mouth, saliva get mixed with food and that forms a ball-like structure, which is called bolus. Yes, I told you that last time. It also helps to push that food down into the food pipe or through your esophagus. Then we have taste receptors which are present on our tongue. They are also called taste buds. These taste buds tell us the taste of various food items. You can perform an activity which is given in your book also. So they have taken various samples. You take sugar solution, some common salt solution, some lemon juice, then juice of crushed neem or bitter gourd. Some bitter juice we are taking. Tell your friend, you blindfold your friend and tell him to take his tongue out. Now with help of toothpick you can put solution, these different solution like sugar solution or salt solution, at different areas of tongue, and ask him that where did he felt the bitter taste, or where did he felt sour taste or sweet taste or salty taste. Yes, you can see here there is a diagram here which is showing you position of various tastes, like if bitter taste we feel at this position of our tongue, sour we feel here, sour, bitter means kadwa and sour is khatta, then salty taste you will feel here and sweet taste you will feel here. So these are the positions of various taste buds on your tongue which help you to distinguish between different food tastes. Okay, so saliva, that tongue has a purpose, that it helps in turning the food item, mixing it with saliva, and it also helps in passing the food item through esophagus. We know that whenever we are eating we should not speak, because sometimes you feel choked. What is the reason? If you feel cough, or you start coughing, or you feel choked while eating, that is because by mistake the food can enter your windpipe. Windpipe and food pipe are always adjacent, they are side by side, and in your throat they are quite closer to each other. There is a flap like structure which is present just at the starting of esophagus. So when you eat, this flap like structure prevents food from going into windpipe. But when you are talking while eating, then those food particles can by chance go into your windpipe, and windpipe we know that it helps in passing air from your nostrils to your lungs. That is why we feel choked. So that is why your parents keep on saying, your teachers keep on saying that please don't talk while you are eating. Okay, so that would be all for today. Next time we will be doing other components of digestive system. By the time you can practice the diagram of human digestive system which is given in your book, and I have given a test that is on coming Wednesday. Please prepare for that. Okay, that would be all for today. See you all. Bye.